Hello there, this is Dave Motohead. I'm out here at the ranch, and I'm going to ship a top cover to somebody for a late model car, and it's got a good bearing in it that I want to keep for another car. So I'm going to take the bearing out of the top cover real quick and show you guys how to do that. And I'm not going to replace it. If I had a new one, I'll do that at a later date, but I'm just taking this bearing out to ship this cover to somebody. So I'll show you how to do that real quick. Put on the hat cam. Okay. The first thing you want to do, have your gloves and your top cover. And whenever you replace these things, what you want to do is you want to make sure you get your measurement right. Now, I've done a lot of them and I kind of know what it is, but if you just, I know this isn't the way to do it. Guys stick things inside there and to hold them up so you can't mess it up, but I can just measure them, and it's usually 1.5 inches. If you look at that, go right down to there, it's 1.5 inches right down to that thing, and just if you put this right up against there like that, it's 1.5 inches. You can see that, and I know that's right because I can go over to this engine and check the same thing, and I just always know that it's 1.5 inches from the top cover. So look at that, that one's 1.5 inches too. You can see that. So anyways, if you're replacing it, you always want to measure that, so when you put the new one in, you get it at the right height, because if you have it too high or too low, it's not going to work right, and that seems to be what it's at, where it's at. But all you got to do is just take a torch, and let me put the fire gloves on here. That's one. And let's get our oxyacetylene torch going here. This is kind of a rosebud. Kind of a rosebud torch thingy that I've got here. I just know it's one that works. There's a nice little hot kernel going, and just heat this cover up a little bit. Just kind of go around it. Let me get my other glove on here. And it really doesn't take much heat most times. You just want to go around and heat up that thing. Sometimes they just fall right out with a little bit of heat. You want to keep it low. You don't want to catch the bearing on fire. But most times you got yourself an old bearing anyways. And then flip this thing upside down here. Put it in our vise, and thing nice and heat. You can heat it up on the inside, a little bit of oil in there. It's probably just going to fall right out pretty soon here. It's hot. I bet you if we tap that a little bit, it's going to come right out. And probably if we just take this now and take our little thing, probably come right out. There you go. One bearing. And you let that sucker cool off and good to go. It's just no sweat. And when you put them back in, you could freeze this part if you want, or whatever, when you get a new one and put it in, you could freeze this and heat that up a little bit. And I think Craig on the forum, he put the set screw in there. But they just go in and out, and it doesn't take much. I barely tapped that thing and it came right out. So that's how I take them out. And I always try to be careful with it, because you don't want to screw this part up in there and put a little lube on it or whatever and you put it back in, but you don't want to burr it out. You don't want this part burn that out in there, because it'll screw it up. Anyways, I'm Dave Motohead, and that's a simple way to take those things out. You can pretty much do that on the car too, if you just heat it up a little bit around the aluminum, and then you can just pull it right out. Like I said, I barely tapped it. Alright, well, this is Dave. Thanks for watching.